purpose of building and safety is to ensure the health, safety, and welfare of our residents, not only those who might visit, those that work here, and those that reside here. So part of that involves just maintaining health, life safety when it comes to buildings, structures, properties, things like that. And so with building and safety, what we'll do is we'll take in plans that are designed by a licensed architect or engineer, and then we would review those not only for the code compliance, which would be the building requirements, some of the systems, plumbing, electrical, mechanical, and then we also give attention to accessibility, some of the so-called ADA matters of compliance as well. And it's kind of through that process that we ensure code compliance. If it's an existing building that's being used and there's not too much of a change of use, then the planning department would be their first step to get approval for the business or the type of occupants they want to use. And then once that's approved, then it comes over to building and safety. If it's a larger project like a ground up, why then there's a little bit more lengthy process that they go through. Again, it starts with the planning department. Our engineers also would look at the project. Once it gets through planning and engineering, then it comes to my desk for building and safety. At that point, then they start to develop the plans. From our standpoint, we look at kind of the nuts and bolts of it. How's it constructed? Everything from the foundation all the way up to the roof and all the systems that are associated with it. Then we have an occupancy process that we go through where all the groups that were involved in it have an opportunity to verify that their requirements were all met. Fire department would have an opportunity to review, health department if they were involved, the water purveyor. So we try and get everybody involved when it comes to the finalization and occupancy of the structure. We've implemented some unique things that not all cities do. For example, we've tried to go almost entirely paperless. So our plans are submitted in PDF format. And so when corrections are made, they don't have to reprint a whole other set of plans. The plans can just be corrected electronically, and then we can review them up to the point of approval, and then we can stamp a set for the job site. Now, another innovation that we've been able to do, which is very exciting, with the use of being partnered with Accela, who is our software provider for our building and safety program, is that we actually have the ability to apply for permits online. So they won't even have to come here to building and safety. When you think about the benefits to that, currently the last few months we've been averaging well over 200 permits a month that get issued online. So that's 200 people that don't have to come to the city. That's more than 200 vehicles that aren't on the road. And it's the time and energy that our people have to expend to do that. Some of our more basic permits might be water heaters, or re-roofs, panel change-outs, mechanical change-outs, and even rooftop solar, to mention a few that we'll do all online. So those customers don't even have to come to the counter. They would go to our city website, City of Lancaster. They would navigate to development services, then building and safety, and then from there navigate to apply for a permit online. Another exciting thing with this Accela program is, before people would have to call in on the phone, speak into a recording, and then our staff would have to then, at the end of the day, take off the recordings, write down the inspections for the inspectors. But now through Accela, we can have the applicant actually log in and schedule their own inspections. They can select the day of the inspection. They'll have a choice for an AM or PM inspection. And then come the day that they selected the inspection, they can log back in and the inspectors will try and give them a window of time, depending on what they have going on that morning or afternoon, to try and reduce just an AM or PM. And then from there, one of our inspectors will show up on the site and If they had not come to City Hall, what will happen is that the inspector will bring them an inspection card, and they will make notations of what was reviewed, what was approved, so that they can go on to the next step. If there were deficiencies in the work, then the inspector would make note of that and explain what they might have to do in order to gain the approval so that they could move on. Currently, we have 3 building inspectors that are in the field. We also have 1 inspector that just does solar for us, that is a third party, a contract inspector. And typically they're running. They're pretty busy guys out there. So we can have anywhere from 40 to maybe 70 inspections a day. For an after hours, a local event or something that happened. A building fire, a structure fire, or maybe a vehicle went into a building, we'll go out and make a determination with regard to how much damage there is. There's 3 postings we have. One is inspected, it's safe, there's no structural damage, no concern for life and property. Aside from that, if it's a little bit more, then we might use a yellow posting, which is restricted use. And in the restricted use, we might indicate what parts of the building are limited use, what parts to stay away from. So this typically we'll use to allow people to get in, to retrieve belongings, things like that. But there may be some reasons or some areas of the property we don't want them in. And then finally, there's our red posting, which is unsafe. And so that would be posted in the case that something was in danger of collapse. Now, we also have an emergency operations center for major events, like we might find in the case of an earthquake. Because after a major event, one of the things we want to be able to do is get people back into their homes, back into their businesses, if it's at all possible to do so. And those postings that in an event like that, we would use the same postings with regard to the nature of the damage and how extensive it was. I've really enjoyed being here. I think the city's been a good place to work. We've had some good direction, good management. And so it's been for me, it's been a positive experience. I came from the private industry, private community. I was a general contractor. And so being part of something bigger, where you can have more of an influence to be able to help more people to obtain their goals, it's been a real positive thing. So I've enjoyed it.